Alright, good morning, everybody. It is 6 o'clock. It's Thursday. I can't even believe it. I cannot even believe it's Thursday. This week freaking flew by. I got the Challenger painted last night, which is awesome. I stayed late. I'll show you guys when I get there. But yeah, I'm happy I got that done. Oh, fuck. Is it Thursday or is it Wednesday? I mean, I don't know. Yesterday I thought it was Tuesday all day. But I fucking asked the new guy, and he's like, no, it's Wednesday. I was like, are you sure? I mean, I don't even know if new guy knows what fucking planet he's on, let alone what day it is. So maybe it is only Wednesday. I don't know. I'll have to check that out here in a bit. It's a weird week, man. It flew by. Another week down, you know. You know something? I was really been doing a lot of thinking over the last 24 hours. I mean, I'm constantly, though, in thought about, what to do. I just don't know. I'm kind of like, I find myself in a stagnant time, and I've had a few times where things have begun to get to me, and it always seems like it's at the right time, like, it's like a hint, like I'm being told, God never freaking, picks up the phone and gives me a call, or he don't shoot me a text, he don't freaking, put visions in my head to read my damn tag on my t-shirt or something and then turn it upside down and it says something different. Like, God doesn't do that for me. God teaches me in the only way that I know how to learn. It's the only way I've ever learned my whole life. The hard way. Like, I got to learn what not to do in order to know what to do. I don't know if you just heard anything I said because my stupid alarm was going off. God always teaches me the hard way, in case you didn't hear it. He doesn't freaking reach out and talk to me, or I always have to learn things the hard way. I gotta learn what not to do so that I know what to do. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is for me. And, I not long ago I found myself in a position where I was really angry at what was going on in my work. Things were getting to me in parts of my life, other parts of my life. And then I decided, I had a couple of big jobs, and I decided after those big jobs are done, I'm gonna take my family and go. And those big jobs are done. The Camaro left last week, and almost instantly, literally, almost instantly, here I am back in the same position where I'm just angry at what's going on at my work. It's like, so much so that, like, I've shut down. I've shut down at work and I'm just like not talking to people. I just don't want to fucking be bothered, because I don't like when people act a certain way one day and then they're a completely different way the next day. I don't like when people tell me one thing and then act completely different. You know what I mean? Like, whispers to me about one thing, telling me this and that, and then their actions show something completely different. I don't like that. It has always angered me. I just something about it. But that shit is instantly happening after the Camaro's gone. So it's like, okay, is this God telling me in the way that I know how, in the way that I know, in the way that He knows I will hear it? Is this God telling me, get off your ass and go? What are you doing? And so I'm kind of caught between I'm stuck kind of in a conundrum. I'm having a bit of a, okay, what's next now? I have, Christmas is coming up. Do I want to uplift my family and head and go where I'm uncertain, where I don't know anything that's going to happen, where I could completely freaking blow it, and then the kids, don't experience a good Christmas? I know somebody's going to say, oh, Christmas is this or that. It's not really Jesus' birthday, blah, blah, blah. Look, my kids have been raised on fucking getting presents on the 25th of December. They wake up, they put the trees, they do the tree, they do all that shit. I'm not taking that away from them because I've found out that it's all a lie. I can't do that. Just like I won't take Easter away. I won't take, all these holidays that everybody's got to jump on here and say something about. I will not do that to my children. So that's that. So enough said. So it's like, okay, here we are. We're in December already. Do I really want to do all this now? Plus I have vacation time coming the last week of December. So I actually feel like it's smarter for me just to bite the bullet and wait until the 1st of January, or at least the last week of December, because I have basically a free paycheck coming. And we can spend the month dialing in everything we need to do, pack up the RV, pack up everything. I'm thinking about letting one of the cars go. I've been doing a lot of thinking, because and last night was man, I laid there and I was watching a movie, and this movie that I was watching the whole time just had me thinking. I was watching a movie called The Day After Tomorrow. And in this movie, it depicts, like, what would happen if we had a pole shift. Like a sudden pole shift. Where just all of a sudden, in, like, the Middle East, it's snowing and hailing freaking hail the size of damn pumpkins. And people are dying, and then it talked also about being flash frozen. People were being flash frozen. And we know that this is a little side thing, but we know that they have found mammoths that had been flash frozen, like they still had food in their mouths. They were in the middle of eating, grazing, and they were flash frozen, still in the same position, like they were kneeling down, getting, eating and whatnot. And they were frozen so quickly, frozen solid so quickly, that we couldn't produce that with our technology. Like, we couldn't do that. We can't do that with a freaking ant, let alone a mammoth, but... And, of course, the movie was based on, like, it was the human race that did it. We caused it. Blah, blah, blah. It was all like around the climate lie. But anyway, right now we are witnessing them, the rulers, the creatures, or whoever it is that's pulling the strings. We're witnessing them create these things, make these things happen. Droughts like we've never seen. Fires and crazy weather. All that shit is like man-made. But you know what? That's all. None of that really is part of my point here. My point is, as I'm watching this movie, people are like, just out of the blue, man, Los Angeles just gets destroyed by all these fucking tornadoes that were like nothing we've ever seen, and like they were the tornadoes were like coming together. Two giant tornadoes were forming together and creating like this even more massive tornado, and like they had no warning. All of a sudden, just this shit just happened. And as I'm laying there, I'm watching this movie, and I'm watching this devastation. I'm watching, people die. I'm watching people migrate, people, having to migrate. And I'm thinking to myself, you've been warned. You see what's happening. You have had the warning. The signs are on the wall. We know that we are under Agenda 21, and I'm not saying that, all hope is completely lost, but we're not going to get out of this unscathed. Will humanity rise up eventually and take what has rightfully been given to them by God? Not take, but fight to keep what has been bestowed on them by our Maker? Yeah, I think they will, because in hard times, people, what's this saying, like, hard times create strong men create easy times create weak men create hard times create strong men, something like that. Yeah, we're weak. Okay, I was also thinking, literally while I was taking a shit this morning, I was thinking about the movie Cowboys versus Aliens. And this is another movie I watched not too long ago. I couldn't stay awake through the whole thing, but I got through about the first half of it. And I'm sitting here taking a shit this morning. I'm thinking about that movie, Cowboys versus Aliens. And back in like the 1800s or 1700s, no, 1800s. Back in the Wild West days, cowboy days, this movie takes place, and there was an attack by aliens. And what they did was the aliens came down, and they swooped down, and they started freaking taking people away. And these fucking cowboys, I think one of them's daughter got taken away or something, or one of them's wife or some shit. And these cowboys, they mounted up, and they went to hunt down the aliens, even though, like, these fucking aliens, these cowboys are on horses, these aliens have technology with flying saucers and shit, and these lasers and all this that probably was pretty fucking scary for a cowboy who, like, have no technology and shit, but they were men. And you know what? I know this didn't really happen or whatever, but this is a pretty good depiction as to what I believe would have happened back then. They would have jumped on their fucking horses with their, Colt 45s, and they would have went and tried to hunt them suckers down, and they would have fought them with everything they had, because that's just what men did. They rose to challenges back then. They stood up, and they would never have ever let anything like what's happening now happen. The only reason that it's happening is because easy times have created weak men, and weak men are the reason for hard times, right? So I'm sitting there taking a shit. I'm thinking about this, thinking about now how nobody's doing shit, and then, it's just night and day difference. And now we have nothing but weak men. I mean, there's a YouTuber that I started watching, and I'm getting like I know I'm all over the place, but there's a YouTuber I started watching called Night God 333 or something like that, and he's a conspiracy theorist guy, and he likes to talk about the Anunnaki and the what he calls aliens, the Council of Five. He talks about the Pleiadians and the freaking all these different things, and which is cool because some of it's true. The giants that walk the earth and all that. But he's the epitome of what you would think of when you think of a guy in his position. He's 35 years old. He went to college, got his college degree or whatever. And he's 35 years old and lives in mommy's basement. And it's literally like the depiction of what you would think of as a 30-year-old, a 30-something-year-old, like a millennial. My brother-in-law. Smart kid. Did great in school. He's just a smart kid, smart guy. He's in his 30s. Nothing. Sits at home, plays video games. This guy, Night God, the freaking conspiracy guy. He is 35 years old. Lives at home. Is online at 3 in the morning. He does live streams at like 4-hour live streams at like 2, 3 in the morning. Like no desire to fucking use the worthless piece of paper that he got for going to college. No desire to go out and do anything. But now he's trying real hard to become a YouTuber or whatever, and he wants to make money doing that. Because why? Because you sit on your fucking ass. I don't want to hear any motherfucker that says that they work hard at YouTube. There's no such thing as working hard while sitting on your ass. It's just not, to me, that's not working hard. Damn this freaking stupid alarm. I don't know if you guys, this thing goes off every 15 fucking minutes in the morning. I'm sorry. I don't even know if you guys can hear when that thing's going off. Anyway, so, I'm just saying, hard times have easy times have created easy times now, though, coupled with, indoctrination, freaking, poisons, the poisons in the food, the water, the skies, the propaganda. It's all created not just weak men, but extra weak. It's turned men into women, is what it's done. And, I'm listening to his live stream, and he's talking. I listened to him all day yesterday because he's a good storyteller. But he's 35 years old, smokes pot, lives in mommy's house, and his mom even comes into the room and shit while he's live streaming. He's like, Mom! And that's not even a joke. It's not even made as a joke. It's like, this is really happening. And the guy's like, but he's a good storyteller. So I'm listening all day yesterday. I kept listening to different recorded live streams. And, you can tell when he's all baked out and shit and he gets all sidetracked. But you know what? Whatever. I'm just saying, like, I don't even know where I was going. I was watching that movie, Day After Tomorrow. And in the movie, like, nobody had any warnings. Everything just happened out of the blue, and people fucking freaked out and stuff. But like, we actually have a warning. We've had the warning. We continue to have the warnings. We have the Deagle documents. We have, everything to tell us that this shit's happening. And people are spending so much time, and that's another thing. I've even gotten tired of watching truth channels, and like, in my mind, I'm like, man, because I used to, really be addicted to it. Like, I would, watch religiously. And now I almost can't even stand it because I feel like people work too hard to wake people up, and it's too late. I feel like it's too late. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It's just my opinion. But now I'm starting to understand why I was getting tired of it. Because the time is not anymore the time's gone for like waking people up, spreading information. I know what information needs to spread, but we need to have action. We need to fucking do instead of talk. And as a one-man show, I can't fucking do shit to change anything, and I won't be able to until people on a singular level, are down to the personal level, until those people are affected so badly that as a whole they'll finally fucking stand up and try to stop it. But then hopefully it won't be too late. Probably it will, I don't know. Will humanity rise to the challenge? Yes, eventually, but it's gonna get really fucking bad. And a lot of people are going to die. And those people are going to be caught off guard because they don't know. We have the knowledge. We have the sight. We've been able to see and hear. And, because of those people passing the information, we've been given the warning. And if we're not taking action, it's not going to matter that we know. It's not going to matter that we can see, because it's going to hit so fast and hard, even we won't survive it. The odds are we won't even survive it. So, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, talking just out my ass. But it's time to do something. And we've had the warnings for almost 2 years. Well, hell, we had the warnings for a long time. Everybody's been talking about Agenda 21 coming, and but I don't even know if the people that were talking about it even really took it 100% serious. But now we know that it's true. Something changed, right? Call it what you will. The old gods are awakening. They're awakening the old gods. CERN is bringing fallen angels back into this dimension. Call it whatever you will. It's bad. It's very bad. It's worst case scenario for us, this thing that they call a planet that we live on. Something is about to change, and 2/3 of the people are not going to survive it. And if we are doing nothing with the knowledge we've been given, we deserve what we get. We deserve it when we become part of that 2/3. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I'm trying to articulate kind of where my head has been the last 24 hours, but it's kind of hard for me to put into words. It's kind of why I'm all over the place. I'm trying to explain, but it just seems like, in the beginning I said about how God teaches me only in the way that I know how to learn it. And it sure seems to me like everything is sort of kind of being summed up for me. Like it's all coming clear. Everything, yes, even as to why I have done the things that I've done recently, why I've, kind of not been able to stomach, not stomach, that was really the wrong word, I'm sorry. Not why I've not been able to kind of sit through and watch and listen to, truth channels and stuff anymore. It's like everything's kind of making sense now. And it all points to, what the fuck are you still doing where you're at? The system here is being taken down, and it could happen tonight. Literally, there could be an event And look, they're pulling events right now. We just had another fake school shooting. I already fucking don't believe it. Already, people are on top of this shit. And they're already showing how the kids in that school knew beforehand that the shit was going down. And, it was most likely it'll come out that it was a drill and some kid just so happened to be, off their rocker that day or off their fucking SSRI meds and decided to shoot up the school on the day that they were having a drill. It'll probably come out, that'll probably be the official story, but, because people are already calling it out for what it is. This shit doesn't last long anymore on their narratives because people see through it. They've been pulling the same fucking card for how many years now? So all it would take is one major event. That's all we're waiting on. And it could be something, it is going to be something that they cause. There's also been documents leaked about, aliens and how this certain race of aliens is going to reveal themselves to the human race in 2022. All these things are set to happen so that they have backups for backups for backups. They have every angle figured out. And here I am, knowing what I know, feeling what I feel, knowing that our, things have changed. You can tell even spiritually, metaphysically maybe, I don't even know that word, if that word goes there, what exactly that word means, but spiritually for sure, you could tell that things have changed. God has removed his hedge of protection. That's obvious. That in itself alone is obvious. Or it should be, at least. So what we're witnessing is the end of days, and we're going to have to go through some bad, if we survive it, even if we can even fucking survive the worst of it, we are going to suffer. People are going to die. Lots and lots of people are going to die. 2/3 of the inhabitants of this thing are going to die. And here we are with the knowledge that it's happening. Here we are. We're not like the fucking sheep. We're not like the people that I know that are just going to work and doing it. Although we're going through the motions, but we have the knowledge here. It's time to fucking put our plans into action. It's been time. And it's like, why am I not preparing, getting my family out of here? So, I'm telling you, hang on a second. All right. I guess, what I'm trying to say is, I'm not feeling very worthy of the gift that I've been given if I'm not doing anything about it. And just like everybody else, I'm still going to work every day. I'm still, doing my thing. I'm still like a dumbass dealing with struggles that I shouldn't even be fucking dealing with. I still I shouldn't be worrying at all. I've been working hard to get myself into a position where I can take my family and go. And I'm pretty much there, but it's like, well, just one more big job. Oh, I got this other big job. Or I've got, man, this one's paying real good. How many times can I say just one more big job? Or just this last big job before the day that I walk out of my house and realize everything's unrecognizable, or when I start seeing people dropping on the streets and they've got the UN troops here, like they're not going to ramp that up. All the ramping up that they've done, all the preparation, the takeover, that's already been done. It's being done now. When we finally move into that next phase, that horror phase, that where we're all going to be kicking ourselves in the ass if we're still in the places where we're at now and not, someplace trying to at least sustain our lives, or to sustain ourselves without being needy of the system. When they move us into that phase, it's going to be quick, it's going to be fast, it's going to be hard. You're not going to know what the fuck hit you. They're not going to keep pushing us in a direction. That's why I believe that they're not clamping down in the U.S. as they are in other countries, especially Australia. They're not doing that here, even though we're all moving in the same direction. They haven't hit that hard here because they're going to do it differently here. They're not going to walk us into it. They're not going to, do us like they're doing them. We right now we're going through the complete takeover of everything private. Private property. You people that own your own houses, or buying your own houses. Nobody really owns their fucking house. I don't understand why people live in that lie. How could you own a house when you pay the government every fucking month for it, and if you don't pay, they'll fucking throw you out of it? How is it that you own your house? Like, all these years we've been sold this lie. Oh, home ownership, man, that's the American dream. And we all know, or at least most of us know now, that that's just a fucking total lie created by the banks to have tangible assets because gold was no longer the standard. So they used housing, and they sold this fucking thing where they sold this dream where, this is your goal. This is what your goal needs to be. Well, how can you really say that you own that house when, if you don't pay every month or, every year or whatever, once you pay the bank off for money, once you pay the bank back the money that they used that wasn't even theirs, like fractional reserve lending, we could get into a whole fucking, you guys already know all this shit though. So, what I was saying is, you people that happen to own your own home, or think that you do, or whatever, or you're paying on it, you probably don't even know this, but I think this was like a year ago, I heard like 1 out of every 5 was actually bought up by the Federal Reserve. Like, you're actually paying a bank that has sold your mortgage to the Federal Reserve. Hang on. Sorry. And you got BlackRock and all these other companies. What they're doing is they're consolidating all the tangible assets. They're consolidating. They're bringing it out of the private sector and into the, or out of the public sector, or private, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying. Well, that just keeps happening, and eventually one day some event's going to happen, and people are going to fucking fall off. And whether it's a virus, right? something in the air or maybe in your arm that causes that big, massive die off or some major event. But in the Deagle documents, it said that those that would be left will be migrating, and I can't imagine how some shot is going to cause that. They say a lot of people are saying that that's the end game. I don't know that it is. I know that they're pushing it pretty hard, so it must be important. But I tend to lean toward the Deagle documents. I tend to lean toward the idea that this thing is something's going to happen that they know is going to happen because it's happened before, and they're going to ride it out, and civilization as we know it is going to be gone, and it's going to start fresh again. This time, when it starts fresh, they want there to be a ruler servant type of arrangement, I guess. You'll have your rulers, and then you'll have the servants. And those of us that try to live outside that system will be hunted down and will be killed, or worse. What's worse than being killed? I don't know. How about maybe have your arms and legs cut off, put on a machine that keeps you alive for 100 fucking years, or a couple hundred years, or 500 years, while you're being tortured the whole time in order to extract some certain things that your body makes under trauma. I don't know. There's so many fucking angles because so many people have come up with so many different theories, and a lot of it's documented. A lot of it's actually seems like it could be fucking the case, okay? So I don't really rule anything out, but I do know that they hint, they let us know, they always have. We always find out after the fact, 9/11 being depicted on the currency, like all this shit we find out after the fact. Well, this time, we've had a fucking, because it's so big, and it's going to be changing the face of the fucking thing that we live on, and it's going to be a massive fucking die-off, not just a few thousand, but, a few billion. So they've pretty well, they've let us know. They've let us know. And, man, the fact that they took Deagle away after all that time, after all those years, now Deagle's gone. I don't know. I kind of tend to think that maybe that is. And I keep going back and forth, because I don't know. No one really knows. No one can say definitively this is the way it's going to go down. But it makes a lot of sense to me. If you remember, like in 2020. The 2021 budget this was leaked. The budget in 2021 for the state of Arizona, they had lined out in their budget to set money aside, like set funds and resources aside to be able to take in refugees walking in. Like it actually said the term walking in from California. That's kind of weird, man. That's kind of weird. And I've said before, the Deagle thing and the future Navy map of America, these things kind of all, though separate, though neither one has anything to do with each other, they all kind of lead to the same outcome. They all kind of make sense. Coastal cities, the coastlines where most people live, about 2/3. Seems like a pretty good number. About 2/3 of the population lives on the coastlines. The changing of the face of the United States, in that it'll be split in two. You have alphabet agencies moving to higher ground. You have the government agencies prepping, buying up everything, moving their resources to higher ground, away from the coastlines, away from the middle of America, the Midwest, I guess. I never understood why they called it the Midwest. I'm sure there's a reason. Like I live in the Midwest. I don't understand. I'm not in the middle of the. I don't know, but whatever. That's a side thing. Just seems, and as I'm watching this movie last night, like everything's. I'm just thinking about everything. I'm feeling horrible. I'm laying there with my children, just feeling horrible because I'm squandering the gift I've been given. I'm fucking squandering it. I feel like I'm squandering it. Yes, I've been prepping. Yes, I've got fucking probably enough food. I've got enough food to last us a while. I've got enough ammo to fight a fucking war on my own. I've got all these things, but I'm still in an area where I feel like possibly won't even exist. Man, I just don't know. I don't know. In a lot of different scenarios, in an event like a natural or even coaxed event that's big enough, there are many scenarios that I could go through: pole shift, EMP, freaking, the whatever, different things happening, and not one of them says that where I'm at is safe. Not one. But most say that where I'm going is safe. Why am I not there? I'm laying there with my children. I'm watching this movie that's all about, like, of course it blames humans and shit. It's climate change that causes the ice caps to melt, that causes, fucking basically the northern hemisphere to turn to ice. Like we go back to an ice age, right? Now, I don't know that is something that's, could happen or would happen right now, but I do know that things like that have happened in the past. I do know that our governments have lied to us since birth for generations and generations and generations. And even our history is a fucking lie. And they've hidden, they've suppressed, they've held us back, they've dumbed us down. And I think a lot of us, subconsciously, we know that. I was talking about this Night Ranger guy, or Night God, or whatever the hell his name is, that fucking goofy kid that lives in the basement with mama or whatever. He's a conspiracy guy, but he's not awake. He talks about, the giants that used to roam the earth. He talks about, different things like what he calls aliens, visiting Earth, and the Council of Five, and all these things. But he's not awake. Don't get me wrong. He's not awake. He's not. That's why I'm not telling you to go to his channel or anything. He's, as a matter of fact, in one video, he was praising Joe Biden. He's like, "Oh, I don't really like the guy per se, but, you got to give him credit where credit's due. That man pulled out of Afghanistan knowing that he was going to catch all kinds of shit. And he did. Everybody beat him down over it. But he did it anyway. And he knew that was going to happen. So you got to respect him. I gotta give the man respect." Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? But the dude is a good storyteller. He's a fucking stoner kid, lives at his mama's house, and he loves folklore and like all these old weird stories and shit. And some of it's bullshit. A lot of it isn't. Some of it is. He's just a good storyteller. But he was saying in a recorded live stream that I was listening to literally on my way home last night, he's like, he's a TikToker. He used to do he does TikTok, but I guess he does YouTube now too. The YouTube little short, like 1 minute videos. That's kind of how I came across them. And I clicked on his page and I seen that he had some like 4-hour fucking live streams, 2-hour live streams, telling stories about, different folk, different old lores and stories and shit about encounters with beings and shit. But and like the first one that I came across was like the Kandahar giant that the Marines encountered over in Afghanistan. And so I was interested. And he's like I said, he's a good storyteller, but he's just a fucking stoner kid. Doesn't really know, but he's talking in his live stream that I was listening to last night. It wasn't live, but it was recorded. And he's like, you know, I'm starting to blow up, and you know, my channel is getting views and blah blah blah. And he's like, but and people are like telling him their story, you know, and you know, people are calling him, telling him they used to work in the military and shit, and you know, about these you know, fallen angels that are being held captive with underneath some dam. One of them's underneath some dam, and it's being held with chains made of copper, where one link is the size of a school bus. And like, you know, it's just he's a good storyteller, and I don't know about that, but so that's why I was kind of interested. I downloaded a bunch of them, and I was just listening to him yesterday the whole day. But on my way home, he's talking about people because they're telling him their stories and stuff and their backgrounds and shit. And he's like, you know, I kind of have have seen a trend here. And he said something that made sense to me. He said, you know, it seems like a lot of us who are like seeking answers, who are open-minded, who are willing to, you know, give conspiracies a thought because some of it's true. Those of us that are seeking answers, seeking truth, it seems like we have a few things in common. And he started talking about, like, you know, a lot of us were the kids that didn't quite take orders well in school. You know, we might have been diagnosed with ADHD, and like, this dude's typical, like, you know, he was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid. He was raised like that, you know, and to think he had something wrong with him, because my brother-in-law is like spitting image, like the same, around the same age, same fucking everything. And, you know, and then he's like, you know, some of us, you know, have struggled with substance abuse, maybe been in trouble with the law. And he's like, you know, the fact that those of us have so much of that in common, and we're the ones that have open minds and we're seeking truth and asking questions. He's like, maybe subconsciously we know that we were meant for something more. And I got to thinking, like, you know, it makes sense, because I've witnessed the same freaking thing on my channels. Like, the same thing. We all have so much in common, and it's always that shit. Like, we're the ones that were in trouble in school. We're the ones that didn't finish school. We're the ones that, you know, had substance abuse issues and problems with the law, and kind of live on the outskirts of society. Maybe that's the case. You know, I've come to the conclusion that we were in training. Like, that was our training. We were led on a different path for a reason, like, by God. And maybe part of it is that subconsciously we do know that humanity, not just us, not just, you know, those of us, but humanity as a whole, maybe we subconsciously know that we are supposed to be a lot further along. We are meant for something great. We know we've been held back. We know we've been drugged up. We've been dumbed down. We've been lied to, indoctrinated, fucking propagandized our whole lives. Like, drugged, poisoned, experimented on. Like, we have definitely been held back in our growth spiritually, mentally, you know, probably physically. We've been completely stunted. I've felt that. I've always felt like I've been reaching for something that's sort of just out of reach. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been searching for something that I can never find. And I feel like, you know, we subconsciously, we know that we're searching for something. We may not know what it is. I can't tell you exactly what the fuck I've been looking for my whole life. I wouldn't even know it if I saw it. I don't know. I don't think. But there's something to this. And, you know, we tend to act out. We tend to definitely have problems with authority. We tend to have problems with structure, like, because the structure that we've been told is structure is not structure. It's prison-like conditions, I guess. It's all a lie. So we have problems with that. We tend to rebel against it. We tend to maybe mask things, medicate, self-medicate. Like, maybe we are operating on a different level, and we've always thought we were the pieces of shit because that's what we were told. We were the fucking idiots. We were the scumbags. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Look who's fucking laughing now as you motherfuckers drag your children in to fucking get them shot up with some shit that you don't even fucking know is in that damn thing, and you completely are obedient to a TV, like to creatures, things on a TV that you don't even know are real or not. Like, these things are telling you, these things that you think are people are telling you what to do, and you do it like gladly. You're like a lapdog. And who the fuck is laughing now? You've called us pieces of shit our whole lives, and we're sitting back, and we've tried to warn you to no avail. We see the glazed over look in your eye. We can tell you still think we're pieces of shit as we are watching you drag your own children in to their own fucking demise. It's sickening. But maybe we weren't such pieces of shit. Maybe we really are operating on a different level, and we just didn't know it. Because again, we were convinced that we were the pieces of shit, and so we self-medicated. We tried to suppress our own growth. We tried to suppress what was going on inside of us because we thought that's what we were supposed to do. We thought we were wrong. We thought we were the outcasts. Meanwhile, it's been the fucking little lapdogs, the little lapdog bitches that have convinced us of that, and they were wrong. And thus, we were wrong. Check this out. Ba-bam! T-Bone can paint. Look at that shit. I got the Chevelle painted. I mean the Chevelle. I got the Hellcat painted yesterday. Very beautiful, beautiful paint job. I also painted a Kawasaki tank. I also painted some fucking rims. But this Chevelle is my pride and... why do I keep calling it that? I've been calling it a Chevelle. This Challenger Hellcat is my pride and joy. Because this is exactly how I like to work, man. Everything done right, everything done beautifully, everything meticulous, attention to detail. I mean, I even painted the core support. It actually looks better than what the factory did because the factory only painted the top. I went all out. I painted and cleared the whole thing. This is a tri-coat red pearl, which means that it has a red, metallic red base coat, and then it has a blood red mid coat. And yeah, so it looks beautiful. And I cannot wait to put it together and get it the fuck out of here. Daddy gots to get paid. Anyway, so I can't really stay on here much longer. What time we got? Oh, it's fucking 7:15. Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, like, guys, I've just been really beating myself up, especially since last night watching that movie and seeing all these people in the, obviously it was a movie, but, just watching this movie while people are, and seeing people being caught off guard and laying there knowing that I have a gift that was given to me, which is the knowledge that something is coming. I have different scenarios, and not one of them says that where I'm at is where I should be. I should be. I don't even know why I'm worried about money. Like, it's not going to matter in the future. But how long do we have? Do I really, honestly, deep down believe in the 2025 thing? Yes. Okay. Well, do I think that just overnight I can get down there and start living off the fucking land? No. It's going to take some time, and I need to get started. So, as I once again find myself in a position where I just quit a I just quit a drug that has had me fucking tethered for years and years, and I let go of it finally, and I did it. And now, and you know what? I don't want to get into that. I want to talk later about that though, because it's a fucked up story, and it's important. But it's important. It's important. I quit a drug and found myself. It's just, you know what? It's important that you guys know, but I don't have time to get into it. I want to say this though, because you're gonna be like, totally makes sense. It totally makes sense when you're trying to beat what's coming, and you know that what's going on is spiritual, way beyond our even what we can even fathom. Like, and you know that if you beat it and you start to get ahead, it's going to pull you back and it's going to attack you from many different ways. And when I tell you the shit that I've been through the last few months, that I now see, and I saw it then, but you tend to forget. You tend to become numb. But I now see that it was like obstacles being thrown in my way. Like, I'm running a marathon and you got fucking Satan or one of his fucking minions throwing fucking tree branches and knocking down fucking fence posts and shit in your way as you're fucking trying to run along. And it's just, and that's really all it is. It's that simple. It really just boils down to that. I'm on the verge of doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is getting my family out of here, becoming self-sufficient, and getting myself and my family in a position to ride out the worst of what's coming, because a lot of people are going to die, you guys, before humanity stands up and does something. And I don't even know if it's going to work. I don't know what the end is. I don't know. But I know that we're going to go through some bad shit and a lot of people are going to die, and I do not want to go and meet my maker and tell him that I knew it was coming and I didn't get my family out when I knew the thing to do. I knew the answer, but I didn't do it. Yeah, no, I can't do that. So instead of getting caught up in what the next work drama thing is, or the next, problem I go through, or waiting for the next big job to get done, I got to start pulling some triggers now. I got to start making some things happen. And by pulling triggers, I mean making decisions, making things happen. Get myself and my family out of here. And it's coming fast. It's logical to say, hey, I'm gonna wait until after Christmas because I don't want my kids' Christmas to be fucked up. I'm pretty positive we're good on time on that. I want to, I've got this right directly like the week after Christmas. That following week between Christmas and New Year, I have vacation time, so it's a free paycheck. And my paychecks it's worth waiting for. It's worth waiting to have, that added to my savings and stuff, and because I don't know what it's going to take. And that's part of the reason why I keep doing the whole, just one more job, just, we get this next big job, and because I just don't know what it's going to take. But I know that it has to be done. I got to do this. I got to put all my bullshit aside and just do it, because my children are counting on me, and even they don't even know it. Like, I've got people counting on me, they don't even know it. And these decisions that I'm making, like for my family, it's going to be like hard to explain. I mean, they know somewhat. You know, I don't bog my kids down with worry. I don't want my children to worry, but they tend to know that things have changed, and you know, our world isn't the same anymore. And things are going to get worse as far as like, you know, prices and supplies and all that. So we've got to make some changes to adjust, but you know, I don't know, man. I'm gonna say the Lord's Prayer, and then we're gonna move on for the day. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I don't want to keep going, because I'll end up just having to shut this off when my boss walks in, and that time's about here. So, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys are kind of thinking like I am. You know, we should feel like we need to be doing something, taking action. I don't look at it like, and I've never looked at it like, I deserve to know. I don't think of myself as someone who figured all this out on my own. I feel like it's been given to me. It's a gift that's been given to me. And people have been put in our lives in certain ways, not in our personal, in our physical lives here, but in our lives in roundabout ways, like Richie, Carol, like these people have been. We've come across these people on purpose, and we've decided to take what they've said and look into it for ourselves. And that's been the stepping stone to our awakening, and that is a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. And it's been given to us by God. And who are we to just sit around and continue our lives as if nothing's happening, even though, you know, even if we're trying, even if we're prepping a little, it's hard. I know it's hard to just walk away from everything that you've worked for. Like, I've got a career. I'm in a place where I've finally, it's like, and that's why it makes even more sense, because I'm here at the place where I've been looking for my whole career, the type of job I've been looking for my whole career, and I'm finally here. And it only makes sense that I would have to pick up and walk away from it, because that's just the way it works with me. I never go from bad to better. I always go from good to bad. For some reason, I always go from like good times to hard times for some reason. It's fucking weird. I always get in that good time and I gotta fucking turn it to shit. But this time, it's not. This time it's for a reason, and a good reason. It's for survival. I mean, these people, they're great people, but they don't even go shopping but once like a couple of weeks. Like, they don't, what are they gonna do when they go to that store when they're completely fucking ran out of food, when they got nothing? And they're like, fuck, I gotta go shopping. Then they go to the store to load up, and there's nothing there. Like, because they didn't think ahead and they didn't fucking take my word. I tried to convince them. I've been trying for, well, I tried for a year to convince them. I did get them looking up at least, and sort of realizing that shit ain't fucking what they say it is, as far as the chemtrails, but that's about as far as it went. There's no action being done, and they still look at me like I'm a crazy motherfucker for thinking that Like our world has already changed. And well, how do they not know that? Like, how do they still live their lives as if nothing's happened? Like, it's so weird. Like, someday everything's just going to go back to normal. Or you know what? They'll just adapt to this normal, and they'll just continue as business as usual. To me, that's like rolling over. That's just like, I got kids, man. You got family. How could you be thinking that way? But then again, here I am, still going to work, still living in probably the worst place to be in most scenarios. So, but I'm about to do something about that. And the kids are cool. The kids are on board with it. My son was just asking me last night, "When are we going to go down there, Dad?" I can't wait to go down there, Dad. So, and when I do get there, I want to I want to turn this channel into something different. I want to turn this channel into because a lot of people are like me. We got to learn shit the hard way, and I'm gonna struggle. I'm going to struggle getting this shit off the ground, but I'm gonna put it out there and I'm gonna show it and I'm gonna let people know exactly why I'm doing it. What is the reason for walking away from your dream and living the way we're gonna have to live, and the struggles that I'm gonna go through. So I want to put that all out there, and hopefully people will catch on. Hopefully it'll catch on, and others will join, and we'll actually start to take action as far as grouping up together, forming our own communities that like I've always said, just want to live and be left alone. And we'll protect each other, we'll protect each other's children, and we'll make our stand when we have to, and that's it. There won't be any bending over, there won't be any giving in. If we're not meant to be here during that next phase that they're going to create, if humanity doesn't take the win, and there actually is going to be in the end you know a ruling class and a servant class, then I won't. If I'm not meant to still live free in that time, and I'm not able to live free and be left alone, then I'm not going to live. But I'm also not going to just sit on my ass knowing and having this gift and not use it to try. I'm not going to just roll over and bend over and just take it. I'm not going to bend over and just let it happen. I got to at least try to survive it. And that's just all we can do. So I don't know, man. Just my thoughts for the day, you guys. I hope you guys have a great day out there. I hope some of this made sense. I don't know if I fucking was all over the place or what, but sometimes when I make these videos, I don't like have a plan. Most of the time I don't, but sometimes I just ramble on. It's like I don't even know what I'm saying. My mouth just keeps moving, and I think that I used to, before I would make videos, I used to ask God to give me words to help me speak and help me to get through, even though I'm a nobody. I'm nobody. But I hope that something I've said has kind of at least lit something in you that makes sense. Maybe help you to realize that you too need to take action. And I hope I can be an example. I don't want to be the example. I don't want to be the example for people of what not to do. I know that I've got to learn myself that way, but I don't want to be that example. Like, don't do what he's doing because he didn't make it. Don't do what he did because he didn't make it. I want to take what I know and take what I believe and use it and at least try to survive. So Okay, I'm done, guys. Hope you guys have a great day out there. I will check in later or tomorrow. Have a great day.